Thank you so much for coming in. We are truly delighted to have you this morning. I hope you can hear me. I'm not wearing my earphone this morning, and I hope you're hearing me well. Thank you so much for coming in. This is going to be a session this morning that I want us to all listen. And as best as possible, if we can take part in the discussion, do so if you can. But this is a topic that is well needed to talk about. Welcome in everyone. Thank you so much for coming in. Dr. Marcia is my co-host this morning. Welcome and thank you, Dr. Marcia, for always being here. We are talking about identifying and minimizing the epidemic of busyness. Identifying and minimizing. I wish if we could say eradicating, identifying and eradicating. I wish if we could say that this morning, but let's work to minimize it. And then at some point in time, we can really seek to eradicate it because it is something that is and has been taking over the lives of many persons in our world and in our society. Many people are living their lives in a constant state of hurry, or what we call busyness, not even understanding or knowing what this state of busyness really is. And it is a constant state of movement, of either doing something or acting as if one is doing something, that leaves little or no time for God, for thoughts, for mindfulness, meditation, or even for meaningful actions. It also leaves little time for sleep or even rest. And some people are so busy that they have been overtaken, hijacked by this busyness epidemic, even to a stage where they are unable to even eat, or I said before, sleep or even rest. And we have to recognize that this busyness has nothing good about it. And if someone in our audience this morning wants to come to this stage and tell us of any good thing that is in this thing that is called busyness. As a matter of fact, when I meditated on this busyness this morning, and I decided, let me go into the perfect book, the book of law that started from creation. Busyness is not mentioned in this book. As a matter of fact, busyness is a lack of divine order. It signifies that something is out of balance, that there is some kind of chaos and disorder that is happening somewhere. And I'm going to ask Dr. Marcia to add her voice to what is the real meaning of this word busyness.
Say, business is not of God. It is not a normal thing. This high state of business that has now pervaded our existence. The Bible says, and God says, we are to be still and know that He is God. This be still means that it gives us some order, and it allows us to understand that we must know ourselves, we must understand ourselves, and we must set the standards and go at the pace that is required. The Bible also says that it is better to have a handful of quietness than 2 hands full of toil and a striving after wind. So the plans of the diligent, if we are more productive than busy, then it will lead to abundance. But everyone that is hasty and always on the go and have no time to really sit down and make wise decisions come only to poverty. That is the Bible. So the Bible is saying that we are to create a balance. Make sure that we create a balance and not become consumed with the busyness of the world, because the busyness of the world is being occupied with so many tasks, activities, or responsibilities that we always feel that we are under constant pressure, always rushing and having no time for relaxation or for even reflection. And a lot of us have put ourselves at the brink of our grave by getting a stroke, by getting depressed, by getting anxious, by getting overly panicked, because according to the world, we have to always be on the go or we are not going to be achieving anything. Haste makes waste, and that is the nature of this world. Immediate, instant coffee is what we have been trained, and many have been memorized to think that the more they do is the more they achieve. But I want to say, the wisely you do is the more you achieve. The wisely you do. Because we have to learn, we have to make sure that we don't work harder, we work smarter. And the society does not promote that, because it wants to keep us in a constant state of rhythm, a constant rhythm that makes us ignore the important things of life.
Wow, 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 and wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Marcia. That speaks volume. Welcome to those who have just come into the room. We are talking about the epidemic of busyness, how to identify it and how to minimize it, because business has become an epidemic in our society. But as I said before, business, think about it. If you are busy, it means that something is out of order. Think about your workplace for a moment. If it is busy in your workplace, it means that something is out of order, out of balance. It's either you have too many customers that you're serving, or you have too less team members that are serving the customer, or that some persons are not pulling their weight. Something is out of balance when someone is busy. Busyness is a matter of chaos and disorder. As a matter of fact, busyness is fear. It is doubt, and it is spiritual disconnection. I said this morning, for those who believe in hell, and hell, I said busyness is hell. Because busyness keep you on a wheel, going. No time for rest, no time for things that you need to do. And how is this busyness viewed in our modern day culture? In our modern day culture, it is viewed in a way that if you are not busy, then you're lazy. That's a lie. I don't mean that they're not lazy people. They're lazy people. But for people who know that you're not lazy, don't be tagged by the society or the culture to tell yourself that if you are not busy, then you're lazy. It is a trap to keep you busy. The other way that society culture views it is that if you are not busy, you will not succeed, or you will miss the mark of gaining what others have gained. That's another trap. That's another lie to keep you on the wheel. They also view it as busyness as a necessity, meaning that you have to be busy working multiple jobs in order to make ends meet, while also caring for children and husbands or wife or parents. You have to be constantly on the wheel. That is a trap. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay in this session and hear us. And when we get to a point, add your voice to what is being said. Think carefully. The society also view business as job security. They tell you that when you're busy, when you work in a particular way, you are more productive, as Dr. Marcia say, and you have loyalty to the company. But hear me and hear me well. I feel so passionate about this topic because business is robbing you of what you have. It's robbing you of your life. You get sick, so now you give your money to the doctor because you end up with high blood pressure, diabetes. Then you give your money to the manufacturer who manufactured these tablets for you to take every day. Then you give your money to those who are already rich, and the scripture says that if you give your money to the rich, you become poorer every single day. You have to recognize the trap of busyness, that it is a trap by those who are over you to keep you on a wheel constantly going, and that is how the modern culture view it. You have to pause. Dr. Marcy, I want you to add your voice about the modern culture.
And the danger, I am in full agreement with all you're saying, and we see you, Belinda. We see you, and very soon we will bring you up. But the trap has such a, the business has such a stranglehold upon us that many people wear business as a badge of honor. They constantly say, I am so busy. I do not have time for myself. I wish I had the time. The time to do what? Because many people are just busy being busy. Because if you are productive, and if you set goals, and if you are accomplishing your goals, then you have to pay attention to the fact that nothing happens overnight. And there is no goal that anybody sets in this world that you do not have to take steps to fulfill these goals. And so the moment you feel that whatever you're doing is more important than you, then you are well settled into the trap. And I can say that your life is diminishing. And that is why so many persons find themselves constantly connecting and contributing to this sense of constant urgency, making it a challenge to disconnect and truly relax. And so even sleep apnea, so many persons are getting that because they take home their work. There is no time that they break. I want to ask at this point, what is more important to you? Your life, your existence, or your job, or people? I want to ask, who gets the remnant or the carcass after you have served and run yourself down to nothing? Is it fair to your family and those who love you and those who you love to not get the best of you, to get the dregs? Because that's what business does. Make you not focus on what is important. And that is why we are saying it is a divisive ploy of the new age to keep people constantly disconnected from themselves and those who they love, so they are not able to become their best self, to fit smugly into their purpose and their destiny, to realize that your body is the temple of God, and that your mind and your emotions and your spirit, if they are not connected, throw you into a tailspin of despair, of hopelessness, of helplessness, of distress, of dismay, of disappointment. You are never satisfied because you are not meeting the standards of the world. But what about the standards that you have set for yourself? What about being comfortable and happy with yourself? What about saying, okay, I'll celebrate this moment because I know what it took to carry me here. I understand the power I have over myself. I have survived. I have come this far. I will go further, but it is at my own pace and it is under my own terms. It will not be dictated by the constant urgency of this world, because busyness is not productivity. It will never be productivity. It is a perpetuation of a cycle that kids us and that mesmerize us and hypnotize us to believe that the more I do is the more I will achieve. We have also been told that we must be busy now so we can rest tomorrow. But God has established work. So he worked for 6 days and then he said rest. But do we rest in this busy culture? We keep going every single day. We get up with and thinking what we will already do and accomplish. And they say that is the badge of success, of a successful man, an effective leader, an effective parent. A man who has it gripped is one who plans to be busy.
Wow.
What you must do is plan your goals. You must say what can be accomplished in the 24 hours that you get in one day. You must move more with what is more significant and what is more valuable than what is just out there.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Marcia. And if you're in the audience and you just came in, we're talking about the epidemic of busyness and how we can identify it and minimize it. And I want to say, Dr. Marcia, and to the audience, that busyness also is something that we pick up and sometimes even inherit. I tell you this, and hear me well. I was born in the Caribbean, and my father was a farmer. But my father used to wake up at 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., and he's gone to the field and he plants and he did what he did, and he was a good farmer. But my father was into that mode of busyness where if he see you sitting down, he would say, get up and find something to do. And so you are raised sometimes with always finding something to do. But it is not until after a while I realized this is not right. I cannot be always finding something to do. There must be a time for rest. There must be a time for rejuvenation. There must be a time for doing something rather than doing something. And so I made a special effort to find time not to be in a hurry, because I recognize that hurry or busyness is out of harmony with my whole being. If I am busy, it means that I fear something. If I am busy or hurrying, and hurry and busy is the same thing, same group. Busy and hurry is in the same group. If you're busy or you're hurrying, it means that you fear something. Fear not achieving your goal. Fear not measuring up. Fear not being at the front of the line. Fear not coming first. Fear not measuring up to the rules that have been set for you. And it's all about fear. But we have to remember, for those of us who read the Bible, that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. And this comes to the point where I ask the question, is...
Just before you ask the question, Dr. Brooks, I want us to focus on a house. A house has many rooms, but you can only sleep in one. Business gives you many tasks, but you can only do one at a time.
Wow. And the question I was going to ask is, business in our minds? Is it in the mind of people? And I want to answer yes. Because the moment we are able to control our minds and how we think, then we are able to control our sense of busyness. So busyness is actually in our mind. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You do everything that you think. So if you think that you must be busy all day, then that's what you're going to do. Success and production, I did hear Dr. Marcia said this before, but I'm reiterating it. Success and production is not about doing more. It is about achieving more. You can be less busy in life than many people and achieve much more than they have achieved. Do not, for the sake of Christ, swallow the lie pill, swallow the lie tablet that people take every day, not realizing that this is a straight path to destruction. Busyness is danger. it has significant consequences. And I'm going to ask Dr. Marcia to talk to us about some of the consequences, because as I start to think, I think about how it weakens people's immune system, how it causes them to become poor rather than become rich, because they end up giving their money to the doctors, they end up giving their business to their employers, they end up giving their business to the manufacturers, and they end up giving all of their life to others, and they get to a point where they can't take it back, it's gone. And so they end up at a certain age in their 50s, 60s, even 70s, thinking, what could I have done differently? And that is why we are here with these sessions, to help people to learn and to grow, to know that they can become better in their lives. They don't have to swallow the lie pills. Dr. Marcia, the dangers of busyness.
I want to say, I don't want us to get the mistaken idea that the world in itself, the nature of the world, the culture of the world, how the world operates has not made it become busy. Of course it is, but it is a trap. And it is also a condition in the mind that has been fortified in our spirits, because we have found ourselves in situations where work has become overwhelming. Our personal commitment, because of the nature of the world we are living in, has become overwhelming. And various distractions that have maximized the stress level in the world, because we are in the world, and the lack of balance in our personal lives, in our work. And this degree of business is different for different individuals because of the cost. What is it that you think you have to lose? So that thought in itself can become such a part of your psychic that even when you are resting, your spirit becomes so busy that you lose sight of yourself, you damage your nerves, because you are caught up in this trap subconsciously and consciously. Because you will hear some people say, I need to take it easy, I know I should, I have missed several doctor's appointments, I have to get this done or else I will not get that promotion. And never stop to think that you are higher than that promotion, and that promotion and the direction in which your life is going is not in sync. What you maybe should be doing is taking it easy so you can understand what it is. So how are we tricked or misled into thinking business is not an epidemic? The hustle culture, this glorification of constant work, and the idea that one must always be busy to succeed is one of the ways that we are tricked or misled. You cannot be busy and succeed. You have to be productive and succeed. The only place that work comes before success is in the dictionary, hard work. You have to work hard. Working hard doesn't mean that you have to be busy. What it means is that you are focused on particular goals at particular time that will carry you to the expected outcome, the desired outcome. So busyness is just the cobwebs. What you need to do is get to the spider. Then there is the issue of productive pressure. The belief that the more productivity leads to greater worth. And so people are encouraged to stay busy all the time. But you are of value and significance regardless of how much you put out. When you value yourself and when you understand your power and your potential, and when you tap into that power or potential, you find that you are naturally productive. Then there is the social comparison where we compare ourselves to others who appear busy and can make us feel inadequate if we believe that our lives are less hectic. So we tend to look at businessmen and guru who we have to set appointments 3 and 4 weeks before. And those persons are, according in our minds, extremely successful simply because they are busy. But a lot of these persons have lost out on many things that they love. And many family members grieve them because they are never available because they are too busy. And then there is this fear that we are missing out. If we are not constantly busy, we will miss opportunities and we will miss great experiences. That is also a trap. That is how we are being tricked. And that is how we forget and ignore the fact that busyness is simply an epidemic. And it is also a status symbol. A lot of people associate business with importance and success, which can lead to overcommitment, where we are always booking people in our business and in our situations. And when we take up our personal business and when we are engaged in making our business become successful, a lot of times we find that we put a lot of weight on business, but what we need to put weight on is the being. Being means what exists now. What is it I need to do now to get me to then? That is the question we must always ask ourselves. And when we get ourselves in this frenzy of thinking that we're busy, one of the ways that we can recalibrate and get ourselves back together, one of the ways that we can go back in sync is to ask the question, what is not at stake? What is it that is not at stake? Not what is at stake, but what is it that is not at stake? And when we see what is not at stake, we will understand what we are to do, and we can control, and we can push away this trap or this trick and the stranglehold that business has on us.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Dr. Marcia. That was indeed a powerful share. We are talking about identifying and minimizing the epidemic of business. We are just a few minutes out, and we want to just have you pause for a moment.
Just before we move, Dr. Brooks, we want to bring up Belinda. Belinda wants to contribute to the conversation or ask a question. Let us not forget.
Sure, Belinda needs to raise her hand so that she can get to be brought up. Let me just finish here and then we can take Belinda. Belinda, will you please raise your hand so that we can bring you up if you need to speak? Thank you so much. Right, so as we go to, I'm not sure if Belinda is here and I'm not seeing her hand raised. As we go to the very last few minutes, I want us to just pause today and think. What aspects of our lives are always busy or always in a hurry? Let us remember that peace and harmony is the opposite of busyness and hurry. Order is the highest state of life. And I said again, for those who believe in God, in the beginning, everything was in chaos. And he spoke into the chaos and created order. Sometimes when we think, even our breath is busy. Our breath is so hurried that because we are on this constant roll, even our breath is not calm. I want you today, as you leave here, take a pen and paper and write down for yourself, what are the areas of my life that business has taken over? And what can I do, or what will I do to ensure that I take back my life, and I take back these areas of my life from the chaos and the disorder? And so I want to say, trust God. Ask him for his peace. As a matter of fact, he has already given us peace, because he said peace is a covenant. It is a covenant I make with you, and I will not break my covenant. So it means that if we are not in peace and harmony, we have broken our side of the covenant. Let us ask him to give us that thing that will allow us to keep our side of the covenant, so we will not always be busy. Let us remember that everything in life is in times and seasons. And we have to work according to times and seasons. Everything cannot be done in one time or in one season. Let us take control of our lives and invite God to also take control too, because we cannot do it of ourselves. Simple ways. Let us try to calm down. Calm down for a moment. Force yourself, literally force yourself to calm down and take control of your mind, because everything starts in the mind. Practically track what you do. Make a schedule every day. Put a time beside it. Keep with that time frame. Even if you're working, many persons work through their lunchtime and work through their break time because they can't calm down, they can't pause, they can't take time. Take small steps with everything that you're doing. Don't try to hurry and rush through life. Life is not going to leave you behind. If you try to hurry and rush, it doesn't make things better. Step away from the causes or the cases that allows you to be busy. Step outside of it and look at it and see, what is this case that is allowing me to be so busy? And the other thing is to release yourself from the guilt. I said about how my father used to say, get up and find something to do. So if you're not doing something, you feel guilty, as if you're wasting time. Release yourself of that guilt. It is not true. Don't go on that guilt trip with yourself. Commit today to break the relationship with busyness and to do things in a way that will allow you to make more use of your time, to be more productive, to be more healthy, to be more mindful, to be more peaceful, and that your entire life will be in more order. I know that we are out of time, so I'm going to ask Dr. Marcia to give her final words. I haven't seen Belinda hand raised, so I don't know if she's still...
She doesn't seem to be hearing us. But I want to say that breaking the bond with busyness is one of the highest forms of self-care that we can choose to do. We need to prioritize what is important, what is urgent, and what is an emergency. And we need to move and eliminate those things that are non-essential to us. We must also learn to say no and manage our time properly. And we must set a specific time aside where we truly and manfully disconnect from technology and social media. We must also simplify what we have to do. The simpler, the better. And we are to set our boundaries in our work life and in our personal life, and create space so that we can relax and rejuvenate and be renewed to take up our task and to think clearer. And one of the ways we can do that is to become very mindful and meditate on God's word. And he did have, I want us to end with an example that he has placed in the Bible to show how serious busyness is and how much he is against busyness and prefers productivity. And the story is with Mary and Martha. When Mary sat at his feet, relaxed, to entertain him and to get the good parts, Martha complained that she was not able to do those things because she was busy in the kitchen trying to do those temporal things. And God said, Mary has chosen the good part. I want to say to us today, choose the good path. Choose yourself, and you will be better off for it.
Wow. That was such a great way to close the session, Dr. Marcia. We will be continuing with this session on Friday at 1 p.m. on our LinkedIn Live. We come live from LinkedIn and we share it out on Facebook and also on my YouTube channel with myself, Dr. Marcia, and Dr. Sigfred, who will join us for the live session. This is a topic that we need to really continue to explore so that persons can really know that this is not your life. Business cannot be your life. Take time for yourself, for your family, for all the persons that you love. Escape from the busyness and become more than you were created to be, all that you were created to be. Thank you so much, Tariq, Jenny, Erin, Belinda, Karen, Tanique, Camilla, Abdul, Carol, Najee, and Anozi. Thank you so much.
Those of you who want to join us on a Tuesday too, we are on Fireside Chat.
Tariq is up. Let me bring Tariq up.
We just want to invite you. So on a Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, we also have a program, Fireside Chat, where we look at additional topics that are of interest to you and that can assist you. So if you're not busy, you can join us.
Thank you so much. Tariq, over to you.
Good morning. I just wanted to say thank you because the information you shared is so timely. I recently started something similar. On weekends, I discontinue walking with work home, and I take that time for self-development and also time to relax. I'm a Christian as well, and I never understood why you would always find yourself in this web of busyness. But after hearing you ladies speak this morning, it's clear that it's practically a trick of the corporate society to make you feel as if you have to be busy in order to be successful. And then after hearing you speak today, it really shed some light on the situation that that's not the case. There are other ways to be successful, and also you need to involve God. So I took a lot of notes because it was really good, because I never looked at it from an angle that business is really not of God. And hearing you say it today, it makes so much sense, because I would say, for me, example, just putting myself out there as an example, I would also oftentimes say I see myself as a go-getter, somebody who has to get it done now, etc. But then after hearing you speak, that practically might not be the reality, where you just have to go with your times and your seasons to ensure that everything with God's plan. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Wonderful, Tariq. Great share. Thank you so much for that. Yes, Tariq, be anxious for nothing, but in all things with prayer and supplication, make your requests known unto God. And the peace, remember that, of God, that passeth all understanding, will guide your heart and your mind. That peace will guide you into the places that you're supposed to go. I feel like I need to say this, because let me tell you something. Many persons have missed opportunities because they are too busy, because they are not able to sit in peace and with the thought and with the Spirit of God directing them. So there's an opportunity right in their face, but they don't see it because they are too busy doing everything else. So they do not see the opportunity. And yes, you can miss.
Dr. Brooks, or take up the wrong opportunity because they are too distracted. So they take up the wrong one and that is the false assignment, where they take up the wrong assignment because they are too busy. They didn't take the time to do exactly what you are saying. Tariq, you can join us on Friday. We continue this discussion in a different way.
1 p.m. on Friday, we will be continuing this discussion. Thank you so much again, everyone, for joining us in this room. And we will be back here next Tuesday morning, 7:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Please plan to join us and join the discussion. We always welcome. I see Anozi.
Yes, I'm going to bring him up.
There. Please go ahead, and I see Minerva.
Yeah, we're going to put you up. I hope we pronounce your name right.
Yes, please.
Minerva.
Go ahead and speak, Anozi.
So, can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
Thank you for the topic, identifying and minimizing the epidemic of busyness. Okay, I'm Anozie Chikere from Nigeria. I joined from Nigeria, to be precise, Bonny Island. So I have a question based on the topic we have, you have handled, this afternoon. But what I want to find out, how do you reconcile, busyness, with, a hard work? For instance, you work in a company and you are not, expected, to be idle, when it is not lunch time. So, and you try, to make sure you, finish your tasks, or you're up to date, making sure you, do your tasks, before, your boss or maybe the person, you report to, asks you, so how do you, reconcile, busyness, with, hard work?
Wow, if I should answer that, uneasy. When I first started, part of my opening was busyness is an indication that something is out of balance or your mindset is out of balance. Let me talk about this something is out of balance first. If you have to be constantly being busy in your workplace, if you're doing something and you have to be constantly at it, cannot rest, cannot pause, cannot do anything, it means that either there are too many clients and too less persons serving all of these clients. Something is out of balance. Too many clients to be served, too less team members to serve the client. Or it could be the imbalance in your mind that says, I have to be consistently on the wheel, consistently busy. Otherwise, my employer might not see me as a productive person, as a hardworking person. So busyness means something somewhere is out of balance. There is some chaos happening at some point that needs to be addressed.
Let me add too that if what you're saying is an issue that you are not able to sit down because your employer will get upset, or if it is an issue where you are expected to be always on your feet, then that's a different matter because that is a mindset. So how do we break that mindset? Hard work by itself is purposeful in its intent. It is driven by a clear goal and serious and very clear assignments. And it yields outcomes, productive outcomes. So if you are told, if you are to do 5 letters, for example, in your organization, and you focus on doing your 5 letters, and you complete them before the required time, you can either say to your employee, I have completed the letters and I'm going to use my other 3 minutes to do something else that is for me. Or you say to him, what is something else that you would want me to do? Then you will establish over time a productive nature that becomes a nature that is consistent, that the employer can trust. So the employer recognizes that anytime you take a break, it is because you have completed your work, and so you will not be pressured. But business by itself is characterized, as Dr. Brooks says, by constant activity without a specific focus. And this can result in inefficiency and also a lack of meaningful accomplishments, because you are not accomplishing anything when you are in the epidemic of busyness. But when hard work always takes you to your expected fulfilling goals and make you meet your objectives. I don't know if that helps you, but that's it.
Thank you so much. We are going to
Yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
clear. Clear. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Let's have Minerva speak. I know we're much out of time. Go ahead and unmute Miss Minerva, Mrs. Lopez.
Good. Hello. Yeah, you could call me Minerva. Thank you, Dr. Marcia, for helping me join, helping me clarify the busyness and define what it is that I want. I joined a little later in the call, but I would like to tell you that this subject matter, this busyness and the multitasking the multitasking request that is being placed out there for us to do. It's something that has been in my mind, and God has been speaking to me about it in so many ways that it's just no accident that I saw your life and I joined. And some of the things that I've been reflecting on from everything that God sent down to me, from books, from conversations, from discussions in the workplace, from my personal experience, all of these things contributed to a better understanding for myself, to set priorities. And there's so many aspects of this. For example, one perspective is I want to do the good work of God, right? And we all want to be a good steward of all of His gifts. And so we say, oh, here's an opportunity to help. I want to do that. And so we may be missing out on the actual assignment that is the perfect assignment to take me to the next level. The perspective of us wanting to do good, that is our heart, right? God wants us to be able to help others. And in it, it's our commission to feed the sheep, right? However, if you're taking the assignment that was meant for someone else because you are so eager to help and stay busy, then you are doing a disservice to yourself and to that other person. If you take on too much, then you will not be able to do 100% of the perfect work. And that is something that God has been speaking to me to try to weed out the busyness from my life, not just at work but also personally. There are things that we want to do for others because we know it's a good thing, but is it the right thing? Is it the place where we need to be? And that doesn't come as clarity message until you're listening for that word. I had to get clear on that because wanting to do good is a good thing, but being selective, knowing that the call of God is it's being heard by your heart. But if you're hearing everything, there's so much noise then. And remember, there are things that could be keeping us from doing good because we're focusing on other things. Does that make sense?
Well, listen to me. You have
Very
just
good
preached.
sense.
I am here jumping in my seat because you have
Yes.
just preached an entire message right there. We could go to church and start clapping. But I know we are out of time. But Minerva, that was so powerful. And that is why we have to, Dr. Marcia, I'm telling you now, I think we have to come back on this topic next Tuesday morning because we
Yes.
have not even scratched the surface of this topic of identifying. And we said minimizing, but maybe we have to start saying eradicating the
Yes.
epidemic of busyness because it's wrecking people's life.
I really wanted to look at the aspect from Minerva's point of view, how we do good things and get trapped also in the business.
Let's come back
Very
with
good
that
point.
next week. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we are way past time. Minerva, thank you so much. Please come back here next week so you can join the conversation next Tuesday morning at 7:45 on the eastern side of the United States. We are. Thank you so much, everyone. Those who stayed in the room. Jenny, I know you were here from the beginning, and Erin and Belinda,
And
Camilla,
Melinda,
Carol,
sorry,
and
didn't hear
Deborah,
from Melinda.
and Nosy and Tariq. Thank you so much. And to Minerva, please, God bless you. You stay smart, stay strong, stay in the will of God, all of you. Know that He has better days up ahead of you. He does not desire you to always be busy in order for Him to fulfill His purpose for your life. I pray God bless you today, bless your family, bless your work, bless you going out, bless you coming in, bless everything that you put your hand to this morning, today, and always. Keep learning, keep trusting, keep believing, because your best days are up ahead. God bless you. We're going to close the room. Thank you so much again. Dr. Marcia, you're a wonderful co-host. God bless you always.
You too.
Take good
Have a
care.
great day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.